What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Fellow Brappers, we're here again. I got my UPS store shirt on. They finally gave me this, so I'm glad to have it. I'm headed to my second job now. I'm just wearing this again because, well, the other job is UPS as well, but not the store. Just kept it on because it's already dirty. But thought I'd just make a quick video while I'm headed to work on the commute. Make a video about what to expect when you buy your first used motorcycle. Because my first motorcycle was a used bike, and I thought I would talk about my experience on buying a bike used when I first get a motorcycle over buying a brand new bike from a dealership. So basically, I'll talk about my situation first. So let's talk about you getting a bike. Scenario, all right? You want a motorcycle so bad, and you want to get your very first bike, but you don't want to pay, you sir, you don't want to pay a full price, full-fledged new bike price because you don't want to drop it and be super upset by it. So you look into used bikes on Facebook Marketplace, and you try to decide what would be a good used bike to buy so you can save some money. You, sir, you right there, you're me. Because I wasn't going to pay full price for an R3 when I know I'm going to eventually sell it. Okay, so I'll explain my story now. So I got bit by the motorcycle bug, and I bought my gear first. Obviously, make sure you do that because that's important. Gear is very important. And then I scoured, like, this was like a year later for me anyways. It would have been sooner, but I quit my job whenever I bought my gear, so I was out of work for a little bit. Thanks COVID. Thanks COVID. And so I after like a year, my income tax hit. I was working UPS seasonal for a while, making pretty good money actually, because seasonal work was paying really well since I was getting a crap ton of hours from the holidays. And so I bought a bike, or I found out that you figure out what bike you want, right? You go on YouTube, you're scouring videos, looking through all the good starter bikes, trying to decide whether or not you want a 300 or a 600. For me, since we're telling my story, we're buying a 300, right? We're buying an R3 because that's what I wanted. That's the bike my boy Yami Noob started on. That's the bike all my little favorite small YouTubers ride. That's what I want to ride. So that's what I was wanted. I found someone in Louisiana. It was about a 3-hour drive who had an R3 2019. I wanted a 2019 because I wanted the digital display, so I wouldn't settle for 2018, which part of me regrets, because now that I have the 2019, it's so goddamn hard to find Gen 2 parts, OEM parts, like used. Like, my front fender's still broken from my crash from April 1st because I can't find anyone with a front fender that's painted black already. So eventually I'm gonna cave and I'm just gonna buy a front fender, a Chinese front fender or something, and just paint it black myself. But so besides that, my bike being too new and not having the parts for it that I want, so I wanted a digital display. So 2019 or newer was my only option. And then I did want the teal, but that was the 2021, and you're not going to find those used right now. So I waited until I could find one that I really wanted, which happened to be matte black. Matte black, clean as hell. Matte black was clean as hell. So that's what I bought. And I will show you guys my bike. So you can get an idea of what I bought. I'll throw a picture up. The picture will be up here for you to see the condition that it was in when I bought it and what it looked like. And basically what mods were on it when I bought it too. So I found this bike from a guy, very cool guy, very nice guy. Don't know if he would be comfortable with me shouting his name out, so I won't. But he was in Louisiana. I rode down and I had watched a bunch of videos, which I would recommend that you also do. I watched a bunch of videos on how to tell, how to check out a used bike. Check a used bike and make sure that you're good to buy it from somebody so it's not damaged or anything like that. So they taught you things like to check the forks and check certain areas for scratches. Make sure you got your fairing bolts in, because a lot of people will zip tie their fairings. You know, and just check for anything that may need to be replaced. The fork seal was the biggest one for me that I had to check on. So always check your fork seals. I checked for cracks in the rims, you know, just normal stuff that you should check for, that you will learn to check for from videos. So I showed up at this guy's house because that's where we met. It was at his house, and we I did all the checks and stuff. It was actually raining the first day. It was raining. Now the biggest thing, if you don't know how to ride a bike, if you don't know how to ride a motorcycle, it may be harder for you to buy a used motorcycle, because I didn't know how to ride a motorcycle. I didn't know how to ride a motorcycle at all. So I had to just trust everything that he said and check stuff while it's idle to make sure it ran right. I could not test ride it because I didn't know how to ride. So I would probably recommend you do the safety course before you go shopping for a used motorcycle. Not everyone is as cool as some people you meet. You do meet some gemstones like this man I did, but a lot of people are not cool. Make sure you check the oil levels on it, the fork seals, check the rims, you know, check your fluids, make sure it's clear, like make sure you've done maintenance on it. Check the chain, make sure it's not rusty as hell. If anything's wrong that you don't feel comfortable with, ask him about it. Let him convince you. If he can't convince you to buy that bike from him, then he doesn't want. There's something wrong with the bike. Like if he's not willing to really convince you to sell it to you, and give you really reasons why. Oh, your chain's rusted. Oh, why is your chain rusted? Oh, you know, I keep my bike outside. Like my chain's a little rusty sometimes, but you can get it off, or you can buy a new chain. So just take in any used parts that may add up for extra cost later into account, so you know how much you should knock off the total price of the bike. It's very easy for you to be excited and pay a lot for a motorcycle when it may not be worth that much. When you might have to do $400 of labor work to it, or more for that matter. It could have really worn out tires on the tread, and you might have to pay buy two new brand new tires after you get it. Like that's a hefty fee, like on top of what you just paid to buy a used bike. So just make sure you check everything. Just gonna pass these cars real quick. Woo! Now if you know how to ride a bike, obviously test drive it. Make sure the bike is for you. Make sure it feels good. Sit on it, you know, start it up, whatever. So I had driven a U-Haul truck all the way to get this bike to Louisiana because I didn't have a way to haul a trailer, and I didn't know anybody that could haul one, unfortunately. So I had to rent a U-Haul truck, and it cost me an extra like $300. It was like $300 bucks, something crazy extra, because I had to rent a truck and drive it like an insane amount of miles. It was like 300 miles or something crazy. So 300 miles, it was like 150 miles there, 150 miles back. So it was like 300 miles total, and they made me pay for all that. So just think, you got to think ahead on everything. And then I had to pay for an inspection, that wasn't expensive. And the tax, like the title transfer or whatever, when they did that, that was actually pretty pricey, because the DMV or whatever they stopped using the price that you paid for the motorcycle. They now use like a sum total they have in their system. And so for them, in my system, the bike was, or in their system for me, my bike is worth $5,000, even though I told them I paid like $3,000 for it. So I had to pay taxes on taxes on a $5,000 bike instead of paying taxes on a $3,000 bike, which would have been substantially less. So it was a few $100 or so worth of extra money that I had to pay. So I got the bike home and everything was good, and I started learning on the bike myself. It's the bike I'm riding now. I've had this bike for about 2.5 months now. I'll do a 3-month review on the 18th. And I bought this bike used with 4,000 miles on it. It's almost at 8,000 now. So I've ridden it a lot in 2.5 months for sure. Some people ride 1,000 miles in a year. So some people ride 10,000 miles in a year. And then I've been using this to commute to work all the time. That's why I have a backpack and also a saddlebag. I've done a shit ton of mods to this bike, way more than the bike is worth, probably. And I've put a lot of saddle time on it, learning this bike in and out. I've crashed. I've gotten an accident on this bike as well, so that can happen, especially since I didn't take my classes. So it was more likely to happen. But that's about what you can expect from a first time, the first time ever buying a used motorcycle with no experience. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It was pretty bare bones, like not a lot of stuff to worry about, like, you know, warranties like the dealership, and no extra stuff. You just gotta really pay attention to what you're buying. And I would absolutely recommend, especially if you took the courses already, I would 100% recommend buying a used bike over a brand new bike. It will save you some serious money, and if you're new to riding, that used bike will be less on you, on your soul, on your heart, whenever you drop it, because you probably will drop it once. If you're a new rider, you're probably going to drop the bike once for sure. So that's about all I had to say. I'm about to get to work now. The UPS warehouse is right up ahead on the right, as you can see. There it is. And so I just want to thank you guys for watching. I gotta get to work, and I'm gonna try to get this video up so there's something out there for this week. I think I might do a night ride as well, and maybe like a pure sound day ride, commute ride. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. See ya.